All right, I've just gotten off a whirlwind of phone calls. I've been talking to a few different senators, a few different people in the Bitcoin Twitter space. I've gotten off the phone with just a minute ago two governors on a multi-way conference call. Earlier in the day, I had a five-way conference call with six crayon-eating retards, and they all have questions about what is going on. What is going on? What is happening? Why is this happening? Why is the price ripping? What in the world is Bitcoin doing? And what do we do about this? How do we explain this to people? All right, I've got you covered. I told them my time is limited and I'm charging them $1,300 per minute of my time, which has to be converted into Bitcoin at the current rate per minute. It is changing so fast. I'm okay with the small dips. So I'm making a pretty penny off of doing this, but I still have other phone calls I got to get to. So I'm going to focus on two things right now. Two things. The first thing is for the idiots, the crayon eaters, the people that are aping into this right now and hoping to meme their way to a Lambo. And I'm going to tell you right now, that isn't going to happen. That is not going to happen. This is not a meme coin. Bitcoin is not here to make you rich over the course of a weekend. And if you bought here in the past few days, let's say you bought in when it was around 75, you're seeing it. People are talking about it. It's on the Reddit, it's on the Twitter, it's on the Facebook, it's in the Roblox, it's on the Fortnite. People are talking about Bitcoin. I got to get Bitcoin. FOMO, FOMO, FOMO. Here's what you should be thinking right now. Okay, did you get that? Nothing. Just chill out. Sit down, chill out, and just watch the price if you must. What you really should not be doing right now is, what can I buy now? If the price went up to this. That means I can afford this. I bought it at 75, and it went up. It went up to 80, so that means I made $15. So oh man, that means I can afford this. Oh no, no, no. What you need to realize is that Bitcoin is going to do what Bitcoin is going to do. And what is that? I don't know. I have absolutely no freaking clue what Bitcoin is going to do. It might go up, it might go down. That's about all it can do. It might stay sideways for a little while. But if you're looking at Bitcoin as a lottery win, and you're thinking that you buy $50 worth tonight, and then tomorrow you're going to wake up being able to afford a Lambo, that isn't happening. That is not happening. You don't want that to happen. Truly, you don't. If that were to happen and the price were to go up that hard, that fast, that quick, other things would be in play. It might mean that nation state level players in the game are debasing the ever-loving hell out of their currency so that they can buy into this, but I don't know why they would do that, because it would be at such a detriment to their nation. You don't want to turn $50 into $1 million. You might think you do, but you don't. You really don't want that to happen. People think that it's all fun and games and, oh, look at all these things that I can afford and look at all this stuff that I can buy. No. The shortest time frame that you should be looking at Bitcoin is 4 years. So if you purchased today, you need to just shut the fuck up and do nothing with your Bitcoin for 4 years. So we can have this chat again in 2028 after the next presidential election. If this is your entry point right around the presidential election, then that's when you should be, the soonest that you should be considering to get out. But ideally, you spend this time learning about what this thing is. I was being an idiot. I was joking. Obviously, I haven't been talking to, well, maybe it's not obvious. Maybe some of you people are that dumb. But I have not been talking to governors. I've not been talking to senators. I suppose I do talk to crayon eaters on the regular because I look in the mirror and I like the flavor blue. So What are you gonna do? I know there's the purple and the red fans out there. Yellows can just go and what? Yeah, we've all met a couple of yellows in our time, but yeah, yeah. The yellows and the glue huffers and the paint sniffers, they can all hang out together, but the reds, the purples, the blues, my refined gentlemen, we know where the flavor's at. Take this time to learn about what this thing is. If you don't understand what Bitcoin is, then there's a really good chance that you will view it as a lottery ticket. And whoa, look at all the money I've made. Look at all the cool stuff I can buy. And there's a really good chance you will regret selling. I don't know that you will. Maybe not. Maybe not. The best way to look at Bitcoin is as though it is a savings account. It is a vehicle, an instrument that does not deflate. Now, the price might move around, but that's different. It is not being debased. Nobody can print more of this. Nobody can make more of it. Nobody can extract or evaporate your energy, your time and energy that you put into acquiring this overnight with the flip of a switch. That cannot be done with Bitcoin. That is one of the many beautiful things about it. And if you don't understand what I am talking about there, then you need to do more research. You need to read the Bitcoin Standard. You need to listen to some podcasts. Listen to Michael Saylor on any of the 300 different chats that he's been on. Listen to the Lex Friedman podcast with Saylor and Saifedean. Learn about what this thing is. Treat Bitcoin as a savings account. Now, I don't know how you treat your savings account, but the way that I was raised is that you have a savings account for situations that you did not expect, medical expenses, a sudden car malfunction that needs a repair that you did not anticipate, a vacation that you've been planning and setting aside this money for, a portion of your savings account, a specific thing that you wanted to do that was planned for, not, oh wow, look at this, a new video game came out and may as well buy it, and then all the stupid cosmetics and fancy doodads that are online and spend $350 on it. That's a really good use of money. No, it's not. No, it's not. You and I both know that that game isn't going to do all that well and is probably going to be $20 on Steam here in a year. I gotta play it now. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're just a consumerized little peon that has been tapped into to extract money from. Don't be that. Don't be that. Do not be that. Now, the next point, I think I've made my point there. The next point here is about the volatility, not so much of Bitcoin. There are so many factors that go into that. It is the most liquid, widely traded asset that exists right now. And with the price sitting at, what is it? Last I checked, it was at $89,044. Let's see what it currently is. 88. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, that's my mining disrupt screen that I just switched to. There we go. This one, it was almost 8 across. 88888. Okay, 88,000. This is for the people that are interested in MicroStrategy. So, MicroStrategy is volatile, but it's more volatile than many other stocks. It's bouncing up, it's bouncing down. And the reason for that is its volatility on top of volatility. In a video that I made recently, I was talking about how the only thing that Wall Street cares about is making money. And so they're looking for opportunities to do that. If a company is doing nothing, it's just dead or very little fluctuations, people aren't paying attention to it, there's no positive or even negative public sentiment about this. It's an unknown company that forget it being on S&P 500. No, it just exists on the market and just kind of coasting along. It's one of many, 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 many dozens, if not hundreds, if not maybe even thousands of companies that are just sort of there. They kind of exist. The best hope that they could have for popping off and doing some crazy numbers is if somebody came along and bought them. But why would somebody come along and buy them if they're not doing anything interesting? Nobody's talking about them. Nobody cares. They're just doing their thing, making paper bags or paper clips or sheets of glass, whatever. It's a company that exists, and that's about it. That's pretty much all you can say about it. They're not making headlines. They are not in the top charts making money because they're dead. They're effectively dead. What Wall Street is looking for is lively companies, things that are moving around. Now, I thought of an analogy that'll help you understand how this works and why it works this way. I think it's pretty good, actually. I'm going to pat myself on the back. Think of Wall Street as a den of degenerate gamblers. If you've ever seen the movie Rat Race, there's the group of guys that are betting on anything and everything. Oh, we think his hat's going to be green. I mean, his hat will be red. Oh, no, it won't. It'll be green. Oh, he won't be wearing a hat. And they're taking bets on anything and everything. That's Wall Street. They do not care what the businesses are. That's irrelevant to them. They care what other people think about the businesses because that plays into public perception and whether the business is doing well or not and whether they should invest in it and then sell and do be interested, paying attention to it at all. But they don't really care what the business is doing. If a business is selling AK-47s to child soldiers in some godforsaken part of the world and they can make $1 billion every day doing that, they won't care. That's great for them. Doesn't matter. There's no morality when it comes to making money for Wall Street, or very, very little. Very little. They are there, as I pointed out in that other video, to make money. That is it. That's it. So, now imagine Wall Street as a group of, as I pointed out already, degenerate gamblers. They will bet on anything. Anything at all. If they think they can make a buck, they will bet on it. Now, imagine the stock market, instead of a bunch of different 4-letter or few-letter tickers, MSTR, TSLA, AAPPL for Apple, Microsoft, all the different tickers that you've got. Instead of that, it's a bunch of fish. It's a whole bunch of fish in fish tanks. Okay, so we're in a pet shop. There's thousands of fish in fish tanks, and there's a bunch of dudes looking around at the fish. Which fish do I want to bet on? What are they betting on? They're betting on if the fish will go up to the top of the tank or down to the bottom of the tank. They want to place bets on the fish going up when the fish is low, because if it goes up, they'll make money. But then when it's up high, they want to be careful because it might come back down. So that's all they're doing. They're betting on the fishes going up and down. That's it. That's all they're doing all day long, betting on the fish. Now, there's a whole lot of fish that aren't really doing anything. That's a lot of fish. To be honest, it's most of the fish. They're not doing anything. They're just there. They dick around on the bottom of their tanks. Every once in a while, they come up a little bit, barely, because some food comes down toward them. They get it, and they kind of putter around the bottom. They go back and forth along the bottom of their tank, but they're not doing anything. Nobody cares about those fish. People aren't coming in to look at them. They're not interesting fish. But there's a section of the pet store where there's 10, 20-ish fish tanks, and those fish by far get the most attention. Those fish are bumping up and they're bopping down, and they are lively fish. They're all over the place. And those are the fish that are getting, hands down, by far, most of the bets. Those Wall Street, dirty, degenerate gamblers, they're betting, oh, throw that $5, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. Betting on the fish, it goes up, it goes down, goes up, it goes down. Now, why do the fish go up and go down? Any number of a thousand different reasons. In the Wall Street, zooming out of the pet shop for a moment, it's because of the supply chain and this and public sentiment and the weather in this region, which is affecting their supplies of getting the stuff. It's so many factors. The CEO was fired, was found sleeping with the secretary, was getting fired, had this lawsuit, is doing this, is doing really well. New CEO who's a rock star, graduated with honors, valedictorian, all this stuff. So many different things. The same is true with the fish bowls. They're going up, they're going down because somebody puts the new little castle in there, and there's a little scuba diver, and then they're trying this different food, and the fish are all over the place. There's all sorts of activity happening around those fish. So they're up and down, and the degenerate gamblers are betting. Now here comes a fish. This is MSTR, by the way. And it's bouncing around. But then it finds out I can get way more action. I can get so much more action if I put myself on top of a little piston system. That's going to make my whole water tank move. It's going to make my entire environment move all the time. So there's going to be the piston below me that's moving up and down, but then me, fish, the company, is also going to be moving down. So it's going to be up and down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Whoa. Holy crap. It's volatility on top of volatility. Look at how much that fish is moving. It is, oh my God, it's moving so much. It found a hack. It did. And this is exactly what MSTR figured out. Saylor and his team figured out if we buy Bitcoin, initially it was for a different reason, it was to save their skin, but they have come to realize that the volatility of Bitcoin, the number one reason that they are worth as much as they are, why do you think that they jumped from $52 billion to $69 billion in the course of a day? Their market cap went up $17 billion in a day. Maybe it was 16. Whatever. It was more than $15 billion in a day. That doesn't typically happen with most companies. Just like that. Boom. $15 billion? And wait a second. Saylor bought more Bitcoin, so shouldn't it... Wait a second. He bought Bitcoin, so isn't that a liability? No, it's not. It's not a liability. It's an asset. It helps his business. People have been saying this, that they have found the hack. They have found the cheat code. They found the infinite money glitch. And now it's just a matter of time before somebody else catches on. And considering the price is at $88,881, it seems as though the world is starting to pay attention. Is this nation states? Don't know. Seen people saying that it is. Is it Wall Street? Is it supply shock? What is it? What is causing the price to bounce around like this and generally up? Just, I think it's jumped something like, I don't know. Let's see. Man, I keep on hoping that it's going to hit the quintuple 8 here. Come on. Oh, no. Other way. Just barely. Come on. Let's see. No, that ain't gonna work. I've tried using DuckDuckGo for a while, and there's some things that I'm okay with it on, but other things it's really annoying. It's not great. So this is saying that DuckDuck, or it's saying 88,900. So earlier today, no, that's not true. Okay, it did not start at I don't know what it's doing. So at the beginning of, today's the 11th. So on the beginning of the 11th, it was at 80,000. So it's gone up $8,000 in a day, which is nuts. That's nuts. $8,000 in a day. But because of Bitcoin going up as much as it did, and that being the number one asset on MicroStrategy's balance sheet, and given how much Bitcoin they're holding, that propelled their value stratospherically through the roof. I think they jumped something like another 50 companies on the S&P 500 or something like that. They've been eligible for S&P 500 inclusion for 180 days now. Are they going to get added? Don't know. I don't know what all the parameters are that they have to meet to be included, but it doesn't really matter. It's whatever. They're doing really well as a company, exceptionally well. By the end of this week, it would not surprise me if they're worth, I was going to say $75 billion, but that seems inevitable at this point. It is. Whether or not it happens this week, I don't know. That I'm not sure about. But they're going to break $1 trillion at some point. When? I don't know when. But it seems guaranteed with what Bitcoin is doing. So that's how the volatility on top of volatility works, because Bitcoin itself is the underlying asset, is the reason that they're worth as much as they are, but it trades, so it bounces up and down. But also, so also does Microsoft. I always say Microsoft because it's the bigger of the two. It's the most well-known one. MSTR, I should just say that. MSTR stock bounces around as well. So it's this, whoa, it's the fish tank on top of a piston thing. Stay humble, stack sats. Don't look at this like winning the lottery. Look at this as though it's a time to buckle down, keep your nose to the grindstone, learn about what this thing is. And if you are interested in getting some MSTR, I don't think you're late to the game. I don't. I think that we are still relatively early to this entire ecosystem. The world hasn't even woken up to what this thing is. Most of the world is not aware of what Bitcoin is, how it works, why it matters. But that's changing. And it is changing relatively quick. I don't know when Bitcoin hits $1 million, but I think it's probably sooner than we think.